Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sixer Sense podcast. I don't know about you guys, but I am hyped because for the first time in franchise history, the Philadelphia 76ers have come back 3-1 to win a Game 7 against none other than our divisional rival, the Boston Celtics. And to celebrate with me and Chris, we have longtime former producer of the podcast, Uriah Young, is back in the building. Uriah, I know I've been asking you for a long time, and you're like, no, I can't do it. But this is a special occasion, right?
I'm back.
You're back.
By the way, you guys are killing it, man. You guys are going viral on TikTok. I mean, you guys were both wrong on your on your takes.
Hey,
but
hey,
one minute they're getting swept, next minute they're gonna win in 6.
Hey, you know what? It happens though. You know what? I don't care because at the end of the day, the Sixers won against the Boston Celtics. Screw you, Boston. Let's go. And screw you, Bill Simmons, because I know that you love this, and I know you're probably not going to see this, but guess what? If you do, still screw you and your fandom. Let's go.
Look, Bill Simmons was tweeting out stuff in favor of the Sixers, like Embiid's not getting enough calls. I'm like, wait a minute, Bill Simmons is in favor of the Sixers.
Missed calls for us.
A lot of calls. I wonder if that was maybe sarcastic on Bill's part. That's my hunch, but
maybe.
Perhaps,
I don't know. I agree. A lot of Sixers. There were some weird calls in this one, I have to say.
The Derek White no charge, the no charge again, the blocking called against Paul George, the amount of times that Joel got bumped, thrown, all that stuff.
Offensive interference when that VJ put back.
Let's start with that. First off, what are you guys' reactions when that happened? Then we'll get into that offensive interference call.
Well, yeah. Let me read the stats real quick. 34, 12, and 6 for Joel in this one. 30 for Tyrese. Scored their last, 6 points, 7, 8 points.
It was needed.
Yeah.
23 for
Joel was out of gas.
5 threes for VJ. They've won every game this series in which VJ hit a 3. 13 for Paul George, but he was really, really good in a game where he was sick coming in. 6, 5, and 2.
Happy 36th birthday, by the way, too.
Happy birthday, Paul George. You earned it. 26 minutes off the bench, 3 points, 6 boards, 4 assists for Quentin Grimes with some great defense. Yeah, Uriah, what were your takeaways from this one?
Well, ironically, Chris, one of my worst memories as a Sixers fan, you and I, Lucas wasn't available a couple years ago when we lost to the Hawks. That was the lowest of the low, Chris. Right now, I put this game up. Chris knows how just deflated I was. It was, because the Ben Simmons thing. Anyway, but here we are. I would say, outside of the Sixers Game 1 victory against the Los Angeles Lakers in 2001, Allen Iverson, 42 points. We took care of the Lakers Game 1. Outside of that victory, this is probably the most memorable and significant win, if not for the fans, but for Joel Embiid. This is the monkey off of his back. This is the game that validates everything that we've had to deal with, unfortunately, because of health with him for the most part. But, Chris, to answer your question, I'm on top of the world. All Sixers fans need to be celebrating now because not only did we advance against the Celtics. So that being said, this was a major victory for us.
Yeah.
For everyone.
I will say the monkey is 90% off of Joel's back. They're still getting out of the second round.
That's a good point. But
beating Boston is a win. We have not done that in the Joel Embiid. We haven't done it for 40 years until now. Yeah. It's happened, guys. We beat Boston. It feels great. And I don't want to hear, Tatum didn't play. You guys played 70 games without Tatum. You should be able to win one game without him.
Preach.
Yeah. Right? So, and you had 2 other times to close this out, and you didn't. So, yet again, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. But
as soon as the Tatum news was announced, I was like, "Oh, here we go. We're screwed." I was with everyone else on Sixers Twitter.
Look. I was nervous because I'm like, okay, they might just do it, right? They might just, but no, they didn't. I mean, they got close a few times.
His absence was felt, though. With Tatum, the game is a lot tighter, and Boston probably wins.
And instead of posting up Jaylen Brown, Joel would have been posting up Tatum, and Tatum's a better matchup for Joel in the post, for Boston's sake. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to do great, but he's not giving up 6 or 7 inches, 6'7", whatever. But look, at the end of the time, look, we beat Boston. And I don't think any of us were really optimistic about that going into this series. I know I predicted it initially, and then I was not staying faithful.
I was
to my
only
prediction.
optimistic because in this position we've always had Tobias Harris, who compared to Paul George does not make certain moves basketball wise, drawing contact, or even just pulling up at the 3-point line without trying to get a rhythm, right? PG,
Yeah.
when you needed him to hit a shot to thwart some type of run by Boston, he did it. He played phenomenal defense all series. So we give Embiid kudos for showing up after his injury and his surgery. But Paul George deserves a lot of credit. And VJ, like Chris mentioned. with
VJ, yeah. No, this was another great game for him.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Unless Chris, you want to?
I just want 2 points. I agree with your Paul George point, Uriah, and I think Sixers fans have been down on Paul George pretty heavily the last 2 years. I don't think there's a lot of confidence in him coming into this series, even though he finished the regular season well. I know he has a spotty track record in the playoffs. Like, he was so good in this series. They do not win without him on both ends. He's their best shooter and their best defender by a mile. He deserves so much credit. Same for VJ. Like, he is a rookie. I mean, 23 in the put-away game with 5 threes. With, the defense he was playing on all of their best players is absurd. It really is. I don't care how high you were picked. Like, for a rookie, that's an amazing feat. So between that game 2 performance and this one, VJ deserves a ton of credit. I know everyone in Philly already loves him. There's no lack of confidence in VJ, but truly an amazing series and couple of performances really for him.
Absolutely. Look, at the end of the day here, the Sixers won by 9 points, and this was not an easy game. Obviously not. And it could have been a lot easier. And, obviously don't blame the refs, but we're going to blame the refs here. Some clearly missed calls. Let's talk about some of those. Let's talk with the first offensive basket interference. Let's be clear. First off, Tyrese got fouled, didn't get called. Whatever. Okay. Secondly, there was a defensive basket interference because when you grab the net, if you interfere with the net while the ball is still on the rim of the basket, guess what? That is defensive basket interference. I don't care how you split it.
He didn't interfere with the net. He touched it, but it didn't change the trajectory or anything.
No, but it doesn't matter. It's the letter of the law.
It doesn't matter. The fact
no, they went through the rule on air and said that touching the net does not necessarily immediately mean that it's basket interference. And they looked it over. I don't think
on a shot attempt. I don't know if I agree on a shot attempt.
That's what they said. Like, I don't think they listened back to the review.
I think maybe it was a makeup layup. I don't know.
Yeah, well, look, 9 times out of 10, that's called a defense. Well, Chris, 9 times out of 10, that is a defensive basket interference.
Well, Chris, what call are you thinking about?
We can't look a gift horse in the mouth. We don't need to complain about the refs, honestly. I don't think
it's good content. It's good content. But
I think the Jaylen Brown mischarge at the end there, where he pushed.
When he pushed off on.
Then that was egregious. I think the Joel technical on just trying to finish the play in case of his continuation against Jaylen Brown was awful, and the way they talked about it on the broadcast, like it was some egregious push off.
No,
they said at one point that he pushed Jaylen Brown to the ground. Like, that did not happen.
No,
that was ridiculous.
No. Look. When they're dead ball and somebody tries to make a shot, you block it. Okay, that's what Joel was doing. Nothing more, nothing less.
Can I just ask you guys about the start of this game? I felt like however the Sixers came out would set the tone for the game, and I can't remember a playoff game where the Sixers really came out hot or at least as effective as they did. I felt very confident going into halftime, even though the Celtics made a run going into the half. But let's talk about how they started the game, right? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, did it give you extra confidence, or what did you think?
See, I tried to stay even keel the whole entire time. I'm like, I'm not going to celebrate. I'm not going to say, because you said something in our Slack conversation, and then they went on a run, and I'm like, you jinxed it. You jinxed it. You can't
Blame
say
me.
nothing. You can't say nothing with
couldn't help it.
Boston. Boston is too good that way. You can't.
But they started hot. They started.
Yeah.
They came out swinging, and that's the problem we've always had is getting in a hole and then trying to fight and come back in the third, fourth quarter.
The third quarter we won. Third and first and third quarters we won. That's the key here.
The level of execution we saw from Philly the last 3 games of this series, I don't think we've ever really seen in the Embiid era, and especially with these stakes. Like, they were so sharp. I did not expect them to punch Boston in the mouth like that. I'm with Lucas where like my heart is so like closed off at this point. I was like, I can't get too high or too low, but it was a really impressive start. And in the third quarter, when they took that 18-point lead or whatever, my editor at Fansided, Chris Landers, who's a Knicks fan, sent me like the Matrix meme where Lawrence Fishburne is like doing this. Like, we can't do that yet. There's another quarter left. If we had lost, I was going to send him a real heated, why'd you do that to us? But
well, I'll just say this. I think I figured out Philly's good luck charm. I didn't post it on social media because y'all don't need to see my daughter, but I had her in a Sixers jersey for most of the day today, and it seemed to work. So
now she's got to wear that same shirt every single game they play.
Every single time that she is at my place, I will have her in that jersey in the evening. You better believe it. Until bedtime.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Does this game from Embiid, who he played his heart out, coming off of surgery just a few weeks ago, defensively was an issue for Boston. They had no question. They had no one that can match up against him.
They didn't even play Vucevic because they knew Vuce was cooked. Yeah.
So
they went small.
Even if the Sixers lose in the next round, if they don't advance, which is like you said, Lucas, like been the knock on a beat. Does this game beating Boston for the first time since 1982? You guys think this kind of takes that weight off his back and help his legacy in Philly?
It helps his legacy, but I don't know if it takes the weight off his back. I think
I think it does for me personally. Like in my book,
that's how
this
I feel,
was a
Chris.
huge win, and this is like the height of my 10 years of covering and following this team. How I view Embiid is obviously very different than how he's viewed nationally, and we can't control those conversations, unfortunately. I'm sure people will still have ridiculous things to say about Joel, but I do think this is a real, like, we're going to look back on this game and this series when we talk about his career and what he was able to accomplish. It's by far the biggest performance of his career, of his Sixers tenure. So I think he deserves all the credit in the world.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, he put it all on the line. He had that Tyrese fell into his knee. He was clearly hobbled. In the next play, he still goes and tries to save the ball, diving into the Celtics bench. He still played as long as he could. They took him out, and I'm not overly concerned at the moment because he did a post-game interview, him and Arthur. Very cute, by the way. Very cute post-game interview. Loved it. And it was good to see him. Maxie looked at him when they said, you and Joel finally did. He looked at him like he was like, like they were like, they won it all. Like, it was just like starstruck. Like, I don't know how to describe it otherwise. But like, look, at the end of the day, we're done with Boston now. We can talk about New York. Let's talk about New York. So let's talk about it, guys.
So Knicks beat Lucas's projected East champs in 6 in the first round.
Look, I thought Atlanta had a squad. My bad.
We've played the Knicks before. We've played them very competitively before. It's a similar group with a new coach that people have very mixed feelings on in Mike Brown.
As they should.
Uriah, how are you feeling about this matchup?
This is the 76ers revenge tour right now. All of the times we lost to Boston, going back to the Ben Simmons days, Markelle Fultz days, James Harden days, Tobias Harris days, we put them to bed. We're moving on. And 2 years ago, we got embarrassed by the Knicks. And I think, Chris, this series is within our grasp. I think if Embiid comes back healthy, he matches up with Cat, Maxey is taking his game to another level. There's nothing. Look, Brunson is not stopping Maxey. Let's just put it to bed.
Yeah.
Can Josh Hart hinder some of his offensive moves? Maybe, but Maxey is like
easy game.
yeah. And in that series that we lost to the Knicks, we didn't have Paul George.
We didn't have VJ Edgecombe.
And VJ Edgecombe, who you guys mentioned earlier as a rookie. He's hitting those threes.
Was Kelly even on that team?
VJ has also defended Jalen Brunson very well in the past.
And that is an advantage that we have too. So, there's one play, Lucas and Chris, that VJ was playing defense. And this is the little things with him. Yeah, he hits threes, he dunks. But there's a play where he's playing defense, I think, on Brown. Brown was about a three-point line. And he had his body position where no matter where Brown went, VJ was ready to recover. That type of confidence to play against a former finals MVP, former champion, tells you all you need to know about the composure and poise that he has for this team. So to answer your question, Chris, I think the Sixers match up well with them. I think we can make it past New York. I do.
I think this is a better matchup for Philly than Boston was.
Absolutely.
I think if you because look, you have the wings. You don't have to worry about Anunoby and Bridges because you have the wings in Oubre and George, right? They cancel each other out, right? I think that those are pretty comparable. Maybe
I
Bridges
think Anunoby's a little bit better than Oubre. I think he's
that's
more
fine.
impactful.
That's fine.
I think you have to worry about them more on defense than you do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, look, but I don't think Anunoby's going to be guarding Maxey. I think it's going to be primarily Josh Hart and Bridges. And Bridges has taken a step back as a defender in the last year or two, I would say. So I'm not overly concerned. I'm not saying that he's a bad defender, to be clear, but
he's still good. Yeah,
he's still good. I would say, and like you said, the VJ matchup, the real question is the backup center battle. I think that's going to be an underrated portion of it because Mitchell Robinson is one of the best backup centers in the NBA. And Drummond, while he is good, he was definitely exposed in this series, and I think that could be more of the same against Mitchell Robinson type.
I think these last 3 games should have been on Bono. I think it should have been Bono over Drummond, 100%. I think this was not a good series for Drummond, and I think it's going to be the same in New York. I'm also quite worried. Like, my number one concern is really the starting center. Like, Cat and Mitchell Robinson are much more capable of exploiting Joel's current defensive weaknesses than I think Boston's guys are. There's a lot of the same issues that with those kind of stretchy shooting bigs that Boston has, but Cat had a really good into that Atlanta series. He's playing some of his best basketball in a while. I think this is going to be a real test for Joel on defense. That would honestly be my chief concern.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah. Embiid was posting up on a rookie tonight. He had his way, and whether Brown was guarding him or was the Kais or number 88, Embiid had his way. He's not going. It's not going to be like that against New York. However, the one advantage that New York has, I think, is their bench. I think Jordan Clarkson is going to give them that offense.
Clarkson, Jose Alvarado, and Miles McBride. That's so we're going to need guards.
We're going to need our bench to step up. We're going to need them to step up. We're going to need
Quentin Grimes. We're going to need a lot of Quentin Grimes.
We need more than just one game of Quentin Grimes in a 7-game series. That he only had one good game, really, offensively.
Well, yeah.
We need more than just one.
We need more Jared McCain. Bring him.
Don't bring down the vibes.
I'll be honest.
Today.
I don't think McCain would be playing much right now.
What?
With the defense.
I completely disagree with you.
Concerns are pretty significant.
I completely disagree, but that's another conversation.
How much did he play in the playoffs for the Thunder the last round?
It was he did not much, but
okay.
Because they didn't need him because they're stacked.
I do think Grimes will be playing more and probably deservedly, as much as I hate to say it. Still a bad trade, to be absolutely clear.
Yeah. But so my girlfriend, before she fell asleep, she asked me, she's like, so if the Sixers win, does that mean your head coach doesn't get fired?
Nurse coached an amazing series, guys.
He did.
I think he saved his job.
I think he saved his job too. As much as I hate to say it, I think he saved his job.
Daryl Morey is taking him to the Capitol Grill tomorrow night.
He did the thing. He did what we have been wanting. But what we've been wanting from Nurse and the Sixers all along. They got healthy.
And by the way, shame on Joe Mazzulla for that challenge call. Oh my gosh, was that bad?
Yeah, that was really on the bench guys for even suggesting it in the first place. But yeah.
So one of the things about Nick Nurse, I think that we can't overlook is, we're fans, we're on the outside looking in, but Jeremy Lin has now been on social media. He has his own little show going on. And he said one of the coaches that he respects the most is Nick Nurse because of ATOs, after timeout plays called. So that kind of gave me a little confidence going to the playoffs that he would be able to take what he has, whatever healthy roster, and outcoach Joe Mazzulla. Would you say that Nick Nurse outcoached Mazzulla?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, which is
crazy because like for throwing everything at the wall in this game, the zone worked. Yeah. A lot of it worked, but like,
why did he go away from the zone? That's my question.
Because Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe.
I was worried about the Sixers being the Sixers with that starting lineup, but I mean, Ron Harper played 4 minutes in this game. I think Garza got in 9 and like 4 fouls. So that clearly didn't work. He's obviously working shorthanded without Tatum, but that is how they played most of this year and got the 2 seed still. But
so let me ask you guys this: what's more important for? Yeah, look, Joe Mazzulla is the regular season coach of the year.
He's a great coach.
That's my guy, and I think Chris. Yeah, I think that's everybody's guy here. I think that's fair. But look, if you think about it, outside of that one championship run, he's been bounced out in playoffs by sticking to his guns with his system, whether it works or not.
But die by the 3.
Look.
They died.
Greg Popovich did the same thing for plenty of years. He lived and died by his system. He didn't change. He didn't, you know what I mean? It's like Novocaine. It will eventually work, right?
No, I don't think you compare Pop's system to this live and die by the 3.
No, it's closer. It's closer to Steve Kerr.
They had no chance.
It was closer to Steve Kerr. Yeah.
If you look at each game they lost, I'm sure they were like sub 40%.
They were pretty bad.
Philly's offensive execution levels above in this series, which I would not have expected. Look, it was really impressive.
And look, while Joel has taken a step back defensively and athletically, I will say that one of the things he's improved on tremendously this year and has showed in the playoffs is his playmaking. His playmaking was at an all-high level.
This game.
And not just this game. Every game pretty much he played. Yeah, I would say.
That's the thing, too. Look, that's a great point, because earlier in Joel's career, I think the volume of different
looks was he couldn't handle double teams. He couldn't.
Yeah, he wouldn't have handled it so well. He made the right play pretty much every time. There was a stretch there in the third quarter where he got a little sloppy, but I mean, he's
look, when you have a 6'7" guy on you and you're 7'2", you're gonna post him up every single time. I don't care about that.
The main knock on Embiid, I think, is it's always the little things with him, and it's whether it's a sloppy pass or securing a rebound and giving it to a guard. Hello, it's okay for a 7'2" guy, no matter if you're an MVP or not, to give the ball to someone who's going to make a smart decision with it. Right?
Yeah,
that's my biggest knock on him.
Yeah, I will say that I noticed a significant drop-off from him for most of the fourth quarter, because at the end of the third, he went out with that tightness in his right side, and then I saw like the energy level just drop with him.
Yeah,
and that made me worried for a little bit.
Hard to blame him, but yeah.
Look, he's coming back from major. He came back from surgery 3 weeks ago, guys.
So, guys, who is the MVP of this series? We haven't talked about that yet.
I think it's
Paul George.
You got to give it to Joel.
I think it's Paul George.
Why are you going George?
I mean, the defense on Jalen and Jason was awesome. I mean, Joel came back. Joel is probably the de facto MVP of the last 3 games. But holistically, we don't get to game 2 without Paul George. We don't stick in game 3 like we did without Paul George. I might go Paul George. Really, Joel, Tyrese both deserve a ton of credit too. VJ had an awesome couple of games, like I said. But I'd probably go Paul George.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Joel because, look, if Paul George played great in those games, I'm not going to lie. You're absolutely right. However, without Joel and how he changes the dimension of the floor, we don't win. Paul George doesn't help you win 3 straight games without Joel Embiid. Let's be clear. Joel Embiid is the answer. Look at Uriah getting back into his producer role in here, asking us questions like he used to all those years ago.
I genuinely care how you guys feel about this team, because you guys do such a great job covering them.
What's your answer?
Especially with all your off predictions.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Let's change the gear. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to give my MVP, and I want to say Tyrese Maxey because
I think that's fair.
when
I think they're all fair.
Embiid's coming off surgery,
Yeah.
he was winded. You could tell he's winded. When the camera zoned in on him in the timeout, he's leaning over and he's catching his breath. So when he was winded in the fourth, you needed someone to get to the basket, make layups, draw fouls, and Maxey did that. And he hit those free throws to seal it. So I would say Maxey. I mean, Paul George was defensively a problem for the Celtics, and Embiid was a valiant effort after he came back. But I think consistently, you don't win the series without Maxey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
think
look,
all three are fair answers.
I think all three of our answers. Yeah, I think all three answers are not incorrect answers. I will say, let me change the question for you guys now, because Boston's done, and of course this is a Sixers podcast, but I do want to pick your brains on it for a second. What is Boston's biggest need going into the offseason? Another playmaker or big that can actually defend?
Yeah, they need a center, a real center.
They need a center.
Yeah, I think so.
Nembhard is a good backup.
The fact that Vooch didn't even get on the court tonight tells you everything you need to know about their needs.
Is Vooch washed? Is he not going to play next year? He's going to get
against Embiid.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's matchup dependent with him, honestly.
Mm. We'll see. We'll see. So I guess we can do predictions for this Knicks series.
Yeah, let's do predictions and wrap it up.
Okay, so Uriah, you're the guest. What is your predictions? This is our last thing, and then we'll head out.
I say Sixers in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Uriah.
I think the Sixers, they take the first game, goes back and forth, but then by game 6 they come out on top. That's what I say.
Chris?
Look, I have to protect my own heart, like I keep saying.
Wow. You still got trepidation.
I think the Knicks are better than the Celtics, though, based on what we've seen. I'm going to say Knicks in 7, but I fully believe that if the Sixers get through this healthy, they're more than capable of winning. And I hope that's what happens.
So I'll be the happy compromise between you guys, because I think the Knicks are better, but I think the Sixers are a better matchup for the Knicks versus the Celtics were. So I'm going to say Sixers in 7. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Sixers in 7.
They're going to win at the Garden. That would be special.
Look, ultimate revenge tour for Joel, right?
Revenge tour. Bring
and
it.
You know what? So let me ask you guys this. What would be better revenge for Joel? Let me ask you this. If we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, what would be better?
Baby.
Playing against Toronto?
Toronto, baby.
Or beating James Harden?
James Harden.
No.
Or James Harden.
Revenge. Him and James
I want to see James Harden. I want to see Embiid wear his Rolex to the game.
I think I want to see Toronto.
James Harden.
It probably won't happen.
I don't think that's revenge.
That was luck,
I think
man.
Toronto was revenge.
Kawhi traveled on that play. Nah, I don't even give credit to the Toronto Raptors.
There's the Nick Nurse factor too.
Okay,
more revenge.
I'm over it. Kawhi walked. I'd rather him beat Harden, who's been really mean to him.
Nick Nurse angle too.
He's not even his friend.
He's not even his best buddy anymore.
They replaced Nick with Darko.
I would like to play Toronto because I think we can beat Toronto.
I agree. We would beat Toronto.
I would take Toronto.
Chris wants Toronto in the no. You're right. Chris wants Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals, so his brand of Colin Murray Boyles being one of the best rookies stays on brand.
Let's be clear. Colin Murray Boyles would just destroy us on the glass. But yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
This is what I'm talking about.
How's Poku doing right now, Chris?
He's doing fine. He's having a great time. Okay.
How's Jaden Springer doing, Chris?
Ooh.
How's Killian Hayes? I do not forget. I keep receipts.
I don't want to.
Killian Hayes too, Uriah.
Ooh.
I don't want to get ahead of
Chris has been bullish. No, Chris has been bullish on OKC for years. I give him credit. Like UK, almost said KFC. OKC is gonna. I think they're gonna win the whole thing.
I appreciate KFC too.
I think we.
Yeah. All right. let's end it there.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
As always, everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Sixers Sense podcast. Uriah, thanks for hopping back on with us for old time's sake. I'm glad that we could do it under such wonderful circumstances. As always, we are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at SIXERS. I'm at Kline NBA. Lucas is at Coach J_20. And Uriah, let everyone know where they can follow you.
Yeah, real quick. We have a podcast, Basketball Now and Then. You can visit our website to check out our comparisons. We compare stars past, present. BasketballNowandThen.com. Download in 55 countries worldwide. We're a top 75 podcast according to FeedSpot. And we have an official affiliate deal with the NBA store. So check us out. Support what we do.
I'm on there too.
Everyone go.
Yes, Lucas is co-host.
Subscribe and watch Basketball Now and Then. And as always, everyone, thank you for tuning in. You can find us on TikTok too at the Sixer Sense. We'll talk soon. Go Sixers. We'll be around to cover this Knicks series.
Let's go.
Let's go.